everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to yet another episode of the Wizarding World Tabletop Campaign Spinoff series. This is the Orion campaign, and we are here with more guest players who will be helping us to continue telling us about this story. But first, let us do a little bit of a warm-up, starting with everybody. Let's just have all of the guest players at least introduce themselves. So tell us how you want us to refer to you as, where you are from, and how did you get into the Harry Potter or Wizarding World franchise?
I'm Ella from Australia. Going to Harry Potter by watching the movies when they first came out. Loved the world. Immediately went online back in the dial-up days and tried to find out everything I could about it. And yeah, as I grew up, I just continued watching the movies. Never actually read the books, which is odd because normally I'm a big book fan. My character I'll be playing today is Muriel Imahara. She's a pure-born vampire. Unfortunately, despite being born to two wizarding parents, she was born without magic, so a squib, which has caused many problems in her life. And she's a Leo.
Ella, some viewers who are watching might be thinking, this person looks very familiar. Why might some of the viewers think that you're familiar?
Well, I played Noir and Fern in Pokemon Spectrum, another one of Hark's campaigns. Check it out, it's fun. And
you also played a different character in another campaign as well.
Yep, I played Tessa on the guest spot on Dragon Age.
In Dragon Age Season 2, yes. So Ella has been in a few campaigns. She's been wonderful to work with. She's being so gracious with her time. It is currently midnight in Australia right now, and I really thank her for being willing to stick it out to roleplay with us today. So
you can call me Trade. Well, Trade and Seal, as I call myself online. I live in Denmark.
You live in Denmark, okay.
And I came into the Wizarding World by the movies. I loved them. So much. Though I was very scared about the Dementors when I was younger. Let's just say I was not the age restriction. I haven't really read the books, but I have them all though, so I can read them at some point. I'm gonna be playing Mason Booth. He is from America and have traveled here to England at some point down the line as he was a vampire. He has been a vampire for a very, very long time. Most don't even know who he was in his old life. Actually, nobody does because he doesn't talk about it. And he is also a Leon of the Zodiac sign.
I am Chris. I go by he, him. And today I am playing Norio Yamihanta, who hails from Japan. I personally am a Cali kid, so Southern California. I started with the movies like 5 years after they came out. And when my older sister was watching them, because she had read some of the books first, and she thought they were amazing, and when she heard there was a movie coming out for it, she was like, well, might as well watch that. And I just joined her. It was one of the few things that we were both interested in, so from there I just kept on going with them. So Norio was never human. He was born a vampire. Both he and his sister. Born to another vampire who was born, and his father who is changed, by choice changed. He's a man who loves to craft things with his own two hands, and his family runs a crafting business. He builds weapons and other magical trinkets, generally made more for auroras or ores, in order to help hunt down rogue vampires.
So this is going to be a big giant flashback. And we are going to move back in time to the year 1991. It is currently mid-August. And you guys are... Ken, where do you envision this moot is happening?
I don't really care, but I imagine somewhere like Europe, but not like any of the big Europes. Like not France or Britain or anything, but like somewhere in a small place in Europe.
Somewhere in a small place in Europe. Does anyone have a suggestion? Because I don't know Europe very well.
Denmark is a small place.
Do you want me to have it in Denmark? All right.
I'm just saying it's a small place.
We can have it in...
Island's cool as well.
All right.
There are multiple citizens out there.
Drade, you'll have to help me give me some small town in Denmark.
A small town in Denmark will be Aarhus.
Aarhus?
Yes, it is written AARS.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what that area is like, just so that everybody can have a picture in their mind?
It is a little busy, not too busy though.
It's not like a big giant city like New York, right? It's a lot...
No,
it's more like
we have
suburban.
no like that.
Is it rural? A lot of like farmland? Is it...
No, that's not farmlands. At least not here.
Okay.
That's a bit longer
So
away.
it's more like suburban, would you say?
Yeah.
Suburbs? Okay. So it's pretty unassuming, whereas major places would be, even in Denmark. And we're gonna say that there's this maybe a club. Do you guys have like a nightclub or something, or even a bar?
They do, yes.
All right. So we'll say that there's this sort of like a nightclub or club kind of place where you guys meet, and in order for you to gain entrance into this section, it's like a hidden away back room section made specifically for the people to go into the moot. There might be some sort of password that they have to give. Is there like a popular candy or candy bar or chocolate? Is there like a popular candy bar or chocolate bar there?
Oh, there is one that I know of. It's called Topple.
Topple?
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is you talk to one of the bouncers, and at some point in your conversation, you have to mention Topple to the guard, and that's how they know, oh, okay, I will take you over to the back room where this place is. Can you please describe Mason to us?
He is mostly wearing actually a black leather jacket that goes pretty long down, and he always has it open with a white shirt on the inside. And he has blue, very dark blue jeans on. That he seems like one of those. If you imagine like the main character from Matrix almost.
Okay.
That's the kind of close style he goes in.
Okay, all right. And what do you're already there, so there's some very light music that's playing. Of course, there's a bar, so you can get a drink if you'd like. What would you say you would be doing currently as you're hanging out?
Yes. Sitting in a corner watching the people while taking a drink.
Okay, just sitting in the corner watching people taking a drink.
Yeah.
All right. Ella, could you please describe your character? What is your character's name?
Muriel.
Muriel, what does Muriel look like?
Muriel has really curly blonde hair, sandy blonde. She has freckles all over her face. She has some Japanese features as well from her father's side. And yeah, she's probably tried to dress up a little bit, but some of her clothes still have some grass stains on them, from the edge.
Okay.
Looking kind of nervous.
Okay. We're going to say that you first are arriving now in the scene. And there's a good number of people here. I wouldn't say that it's super cramped, but it's definitely a good showing. Would you say you've been to this moot before in the past, or is this going to be your first time?
This is her first time on her own.
Okay.
She's probably been along to it once before.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say that you come in and Mason noticed this person enter. Mason, is this your first time at this moot, or have you been here before in the past?
He will probably have been here a few times before.
Okay. So this girl comes in and catches your eye only because you've never seen her before. You don't recall. She's new blood. New blood. I would say that you recognize most of the people in this room, and she comes in and she's definitely new. So do you do anything as she's going in? Actually, what is the first thing that Muriel does when she enters the room?
She looks around, trying to find things that seem familiar from moots she went to in different countries. Just look around and it's
Hi, can I help you, dear? So there's this woman. She actually has darker features. She appears to be a woman of color, and she is working the bar right now. And she asks, "You want a drink?"
No, thank you. I've only I'm not drinking age yet. That's one more year in my country. Thank you for offering. Unless it's, Oh, wait, you're probably meaning the other longer drink.
Well, you look a little bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here.
Yes.
You sure you're in the right place? She asks with a bit of a grin.
Is this the place where I'm meant to say trouble?
Yes, that would be the place. You're in the right spot. Come
Oh,
on.
thank goodness. I thought I got lost. Okay.
We get a lot of new people come in here from time to time, and you definitely have that look. So, tell you what, do you at least want some water at least?
Yeah, sure.
Sparkling or tap?
Tap?
She goes in and she gives you a glass of water, and she pulls out, I would say, the Wizarding World version of a lemon. And she gives it a little bit of a twist. It's a little bit more, the lemon itself is put into water, and it actually does help significantly to purify the water a little bit, in addition to giving it not so much of a lemony taste, but almost like this particular one is more of a blood orangey taste. And then she just passes it over to you.
Oh, delicious. Thank you.
I can get you more if you'd like, but don't drink too much. I might have to cut you off, she says with a smile. Wouldn't want you to indulge too much.
Yeah. Which way am I meant to go?
She says, I think we're going to have the meetings start in probably the next hour or so. So why don't you just go around and mingle, get to know some of the other clans maybe. Are you from a clan?
Yes. Technically, yes.
Oh, which one?
The Inside clan.
Leonside. Are they particularly well known, would you say? Or are they a more recent clan?
They're a clan that has few members, but they're well known because of like the curse that generally accompanies their members.
Okay. All right. She'll think about it and says, can't say I've heard of that one yet. You all must be new.
They've been around for a while, but not many members. My mother's the progenitor of the clan.
Oh, I see. Well, like I said, just go around and mingle and talk and entertain yourself for the next hour or so is my best advice to you.
Okay.
The name is Delphina, she says as she holds out her hand.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Delphina. Muriel Imahara.
She will nod.
You'll probably stand out at this point and walk over to her, actually.
All right. So you're going to see this Matrix-looking guy approach you, Muriel.
He is smiling.
Okay.
She smiles back and goes, "Hi, nice boot."
Why, thank you. Well, you're new, so you probably need somebody who knows this place a bit better to make sure you don't come into trouble.
Yeah, it's my first mute in this country by myself. Last time I was here, I was a lot smaller.
I see. Well, why don't you come with me? I can make sure there's no trouble.
Oh, thank you. That's been very much appreciated.
And I will actually lead her back to the table I was sitting at. Where my drink still is.
There definitely is another chair at least available if Muriel would like to sit down with him.
She joins him, sitting on the edge of the seat. So, you've been here before?
Yes, a few times.
Ah.
I haven't been long here in Denmark. But I probably won't stick around for too long, just here for the meeting. For now. What about yourself?
I was visiting my sister. She was teaching nearby, and I heard the mute was going on, but she couldn't make it because she had grades and papers to sign off. So unfortunately, I had to come by myself.
I see. Well, it is always hard your first time. Trust me, everything becomes easier after the first time.
So, you were born or turned?
I was turned.
Oh, recently? Is that root the ox? I'm not exactly sure.
Oh no. I've been turned for so long. I can't even remember what time it is anymore.
Oh. Well, you and my mother will probably have a lot in common. She was turned back in the days when witches and wizards didn't have to hide as much. I was born myself, but I'm from a different continent, so...
Which continent?
You probably can tell from my accent, Australia.
I see.
My father's
You are a long way from home then.
Yeah. Well, situations at home required that I live with my sister for a time. And she teaches in a magic school near here, so made sense. How did you find yourself here? Living in? Do you live in Denmark or?
Oh no. I don't have any permanent place to stay.
Oh, traveler then.
Yes, life gets boring after a while in one place, after all.
That's a problem for our species. After a while, people start noticing you don't age.
That too. But yeah.
Norio arrives shortly after. How old do you think he would be in 1991?
8 years prior, so he'd probably be 8
years old? All right, so you're a
Yeah.
kid. All right. Okay.
Yes.
So you would probably be there with some other guardian, I'm assuming.
Probably with his grandfather. So they'd be about the same height, seeing as his grandfather is a dwarf.
Oh, okay. Can you describe your grandfather for me?
Typical short size and stature for a dwarf, but very muscular from working in the forges and with other heavy metal items that he has to constantly keep beating into shape. However, he is also very wise and quite ancient at the same time. So he carries himself with the knowledge and wisdom that he's accrued over his many years. His grandfather hails from the mountains of Spain.
Spain.
He was
Okay.
driven out
Gotcha.
because he became a vampire.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. So originally from Spain. Thank you. I'm going to say that Delphina and your grandfather actually know each other fairly well.
He's one of the 3 leaders of the clan.
Okay. And I'll say that Delphina has probably known you since you were a baby. So she's almost like a distant aunt. Because you, of course, may stick out like a sore thumb in this group, but I'm going to say that people who have been here before have seen you in the past. Mostly out of necessity, because it's kind of hard to find, daycare for kid vampires right now. So I don't know if that's something that you can find in care.com. Not that that's a thing back in the 91. But so that being said, sometimes you tag along at this moot, and your vampire, your grandfather, will enter in. And Delphina will give you a very warm smile as you enter. And I'm going to say that many of the people here who are new are probably going to be staring at the 8-year-old kid that's in this bar right now. I don't know if you pay any mind to them, but Delphina is going to say, "Well, there's my little prince. Norio, you're looking very handsome today.
Thank you.
Isn't it past your bedtime?"
Maybe.
Jorfurk will turn to Delphina and say, "Good to see you, Delphina. Good to see you. I'll have my usual." Of course, Jorfrick. And how about the usual for you as well?" she says, looking down at Norio.
Mm-hmm.
What is Norio's usual? What he normally gets here to drink? Milk? Alright. Do you want me to warm it up for you today?
No, then I'll get tired.
Alright. I think I might have some biscuits in the back too, if you'd like.
Yes.
Alright.
Biscuits are always great.
Great. So she'll get you some biscuits there, and we'll start to chat. And while you're chatting, does either Mason or Muriel, who's never seen this kid before, do they react or say anything about these newcomers? I don't know if Muriel has seen a dwarf. Maybe she has.
Mason, look, some new people came in. Know them?
Don't worry. Don't worry. You see that dwarf down? He's one of the leaders of his clan. That is his grandchild, right there.
Oh.
He takes him with him sometimes. Not every time.
Mhm. Seems rather young. There's not many kids at these. I know from experience. These type of things.
No, but
Pretty tough.
I do wonder though, why does he not just have one from his clan to take care of him? Well, that just makes the bat's more interesting though. To have a chat with.
Jorfik will wrap things up with Delphina, and they'll start mingling around, and maybe they'll actually approach your table, and Jorfik will go over with his grandson and say, "Mason, right?"
Who else would it be?
Haha, he says as he reaches out to shake your hand.
He will shake his hands back.
Good to see you. Good to see you. What have you been up to as of late?
You know, the usual, just traveling around, seeing new places.
Any place in particular that's interesting?
There was this place in England, but well, I didn't have time to look at it right now.
Norio, say hi to Mr. Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Hello, little guy.
Looks over to the other one. What's your name?
I'm Muriel. Lovely to meet you.
I'm Norio. I'm 8.
No, I'm 16.
Dorfric will turn to you and say, "Pleased to meet you as well, Muriel," and he'll reach over to shake your hand.
She accepts it and shakes.
Can't say I've seen you here before. Are you new?
Yeah, to this area's meet. I'm normally on the other side of the globe.
Which
when I go
clan?
to mine.
Which clan are you from?
The outside clan?
Oh, the outside clan. All right. He sort of smiles warmly at you.
Yeah, we close-knit bunch. I'd say.
What brings you here to the moot?
Well, I thought I should get to know the local community. We just moved here this year, so.
Ah, I see. Any particular reason why Denmark in particular?
Well, it's not exactly Denmark. It's just like this is the closest mute to the Drumstang Institute.
Oh, Darmstrang. Yes.
Yeah, my sister's recently picked up a job there. She transferred over from Mahotokoro.
Mahotokoro, yes. Fine school. Norio actually has been attending Mahotokoro for a year now.
Oh, did you hear? What's the new alchemy teacher like over there?
Do they teach your years? Do they teach second years alchemy at Norio?
I mean, no, but I'm in it anyway.
Apparently, he's in the accelerated track.
Well, since you go to school, what is your color of your robe so far?
They're green.
Oh wow!
Your grandpa and your parents must be very proud of you then.
Mm-hmm. That is
Out of character, just so that I can make sure I'm being accurate. In general, how did the wizarding schools feel about vampires in their student body in general? Do you guys know?
From what I understand, a lot of schools don't accept them, kind of like a lot of schools won't accept werewolves. They're considered dangerous, and parents will throw a fit.
Okay.
As a general rule, is what I believe I've read.
Would it be safe to say that maybe Norio is a student, but they might not necessarily have mentioned that he's a vampire, or at least trying to hide the fact that he's a vampire?
Yeah, the students definitely wouldn't know.
Okay.
Maybe that's why my character's sister had to move to get a new job. So they're like, we don't want too many. Maybe you should look for work elsewhere.
Right, they're trying to limit. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Because, again, parents would have a fit. Okay. I'm going to say at this point, meanwhile, Gabriel and Celeste will be arriving at this bar or club. And it's been sort of a relatively rainy day today. I would say it's drizzling at this point. Maybe it's lightened up quite a bit. And I'm going to say that you guys start to enter in. Gabriel shakes out his umbrella. And Celeste, could you describe to everybody what Gabriel looks like, and as well as what you currently look like and are wearing?
Okay. So Gabriel is a tall, broad man, very almost burly. He has a thick, dark brown beard, kind of longer hair that's currently tied back just to keep it out of the way. He's probably wearing a large, what's the term? Trench coat kind of thing. Very simple looking suit, no tie, just kind of unbuttoned at the top. He has a very stoic expression, very kind, gentle, like greenish hazel eyes. And beside him is a petite woman. Her straight blonde hair is currently tied up in a somewhat simple looking updo. Her makeup is still a bit heavy, but it's a lot less so now. You can see how pale she is. And she's probably wearing a very fitted purple cocktail dress and some simple strappy heels. She looks very nice, very sweet, and very nervous, and she's probably kind of holding onto his arm just to keep close.
Well now, he says, that was quite a trip.
Yes, it was.
So we've been at Denmark for just a few hours. What do you think of this place so far?
It's a bit wet. But it's nice.
I've been here a few times. It's a lovely country, but there's one thing in particular that sort of disappointed me. Did you know that Danishes did not originate from Denmark?
I did not know that, no.
I didn't know that either. For as long as I've been living, you would think I would have learned a thing or two. I also asked some of my friends in Sweden about how their Swedish fish is, and they just stared at me and had absolutely no idea what I was talking about.
I thought once it was made in Germany?
Swedish fish?
Yeah. Once they saw it made up in Germany? I heard a rumor.
I have no idea. All I know is the candy companies are laced with lies and deceit.
Fair enough.
Sorry, the only reason that came up with me is because of the password.
Oh.
Yes, my good man, he says. I was wondering, by any chance, where's a good place for us to find a piece of toffel or something? And then the gentleman bouncer will nod, and he will say, "Right this way," and he will take you down the corridor into the back room. Celeste will start hearing music, and as you enter into this room, has Celeste been into one of these moods before? Maybe not necessarily this one, but has she been in a mood before, or is this the first time?
This is probably her first time. She's only been a vampire about 10 years at this point.
Okay. Okay, so that means that would have made you a vampire around 81? Is that correct?
Yeah, like early 80s.
Early 80s, okay. So you guys will arrive, and I will say that Gabriel has been here a few times. So, Mason, would you say that you recognize this man as he enters into the room?
Probably would.
Probably would?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you would have had a conversation with him? I'm going to say in the last moot, he was the one who actually was running the meeting and actually talking about the issues and stuff. So, do you think you would have had a conversation with him at some point, or no?
I probably would. Mason probably would have.
Okay,
had
so you'll probably know who you are to some degree. Okay. When you guys enter, the bartender Delphina will say, Gabriel, fashionably late, as usual. It's good to see you as well, Delphina. Delphina, I'd like you to meet my friend, Celeste.
Hello, madam.
Pleased to meet you, she says, and she'll hold out her hand to give you a shake.
She'll shake her hand.
Can I get you guys anything to drink? I think I have a feel for a tonic of some sort. Surprise me. How about yourself? He says, turning to Celeste.
I'll have the same thing.
All right, okay. So how's it going, Gabriel? She asks. Wish I could say that things have been better. Believe it or not, I recently have become unemployed. Unemployed? That's disappointing. Didn't you say that you were working over at Ilvermorny? Yes, I was working there for quite some time, I would say, trying to establish some sort of normalcy in my day-to-day life. But no, they just recently let me go. Oh, honey, why is that? Well, if you remember, I was in charge of, basically I was in charge of admissions and determining who did or did not get accepted into the school. And let's say I made some decisions that the headmaster didn't particularly agree with. Oh, I see. Were there some people that you gave admissions to the school when they shouldn't have? No, the opposite. There was one student in particular that I didn't deem would be appropriate for him to attend wizarding school that I denied. And the headmaster, I guess, disagreed. We got into a little bit of an argument. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and now I'm out of a job. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't know if Celeste will say anything at all during this conversation.
She's
gonna be
quiet outside.
Completely quiet.
She's very nervous right now, and she's kind of looking around.
Okay. You'll be looking around, and I mean, there's a lot of people here, but for convenience sake, we'll say that your eyes eventually land on these two particular individuals that are sitting across from each other at a table in the corner. One of them may be looking towards Gabriel's direction as if he recognized who Gabriel is. Delphina will say, "So, Celeste, I haven't seen you around here before. What's your story, if you don't mind me asking? I'm pretty nosy, but I guess that's a very typical thing for a bartender, and quite frankly, I don't care if it's typical."
I've just been traveling with Gabriel for the last 9-10 years. Before that, I recently graduated and was preparing for work at the ministry in France.
Oh, from France. I've always wanted to visit France. I heard it's lovely there.
It is quite beautiful.
If someone like myself were to walk around in France, be very honest with me. How much would I stick out? She asks.
I mean, we get a lot of people there, especially in Paris. So they wouldn't stick out too much. They may just think of you as a tourist.
It's fine by me, she says. At this point, Gabriel seems a little bit uncomfortable with that particular conversation. And Delphine is going to say, "Oh, don't give me that look, Gabriel. I know issues like that make you uncomfortable, but I'm very proud, obviously, of who I am. And quite frankly, given my situation, it actually gives me a pretty good advantage. Very few people suspect me of, well, being a vampire." As if out of character to imply that because she is a vampire of color, she's not as pale, so it's easier for her to hide. Therefore, That's what she was saying. She says, I mean, we don't get very many advantages, at least over in the rest of Europe and the Western world at least, so I might as well take whatever advantages I can get, right? She says with sort of a chuckle. Gabriel sort of tries to change the subject a little bit because this whole conversation is very uncomfortable for him, but for whatever reason, but Delphine is apparently the kind of woman who is very blunt about these kind of things. So he says, I think we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of mingling and socializing, Delphina, but it's nice catching up with you. Yes, of course, nice catching up with you as well. Can you tell us about the reputation of your clan and how well known they are and what the general public, if they do know of your clan, how your clan is generally viewed?
Most who know the clan name Yamihanta don't know that they're vampires. They do their best to hide that from most of their customers just because, yeah, they may be helping hunt down the rogues, but they're still vampires, and that means if they're found out, then hunters from around the world could just go, let's just stop by the Yamihantas and, burn and stake a few, keep that quota good for the week. They are not, the most well-known crafters, but they are at least somewhat well-known.
Let me repeat that question for Ella, because I know you mentioned a curse. Would you be able to tell us more about that curse so people know?
It's based on the Law of Liansai, which is like an Irish type of vampire. And the curse basically causes those who fall in love with who have like the curse actively, and if they fall in love with that individual, they will slowly begin to die or go mad, or both. And her mother started the clan inadvertently because it's generally just to those who are related to her. So the clan is kind of just like, hey, it started just because the vampire councils and stuff wanted to keep an eye on what's going on there, because that's a problematic thing at times, keeping the secret. As far as Muriel is aware and knows, she's just a carrier. She hasn't shown any definitive, without a shred of doubt, of signs of inheriting her mother's curse, as far as she is aware. But yeah, kind of notorious reputation in the family community, despite their very low numbers.
Okay. Because of that, do you tend to hide, in general, who your clan is because of that? Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, I'm part of this clan.
Yeah, okay.
Conversation stop.
All right. And Drage, let me repeat the question for you. What is the reputation of your clan? How well known are you?
My character, no one knows what clan he's part of. Really, he is actually clanless.
Clanless, okay. Okay. Very diverse group. That's awesome. They will also join your table, because I'm going to think that Gabriel has recognized both Mason and Jorfric.
Would I recognize them?
I think you would recognize Gabriel. I don't know if you've had much interaction with him besides like a hi.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what Norio's doing.
So, Norio's doing this. He's so kawaii.
Just a hi and
Norio's kid with a high charisma score.
Yes.
Just a hi from him and you're friends with him. That's it.
Yeah.
With Neo.
He's going to say, Jorfric, Mason, good to see you both here. Oh, and you as well. Mario?
Norio.
Sorry, Norio, not Mario. My apologies. It's a me, Norio. I feel like that's how you should be introducing yourself from now on. It's me, Norio.
No idea what the context is.
As soon as he gets a hold of those games, that's exactly what an 8-year-old kid would do.
Once the games become big.
I think I know what the title of this video is going to be.
It's me, Mario.
Introduce us to your friends, Gabriel says.
This is Muriel.
Pleased to meet you, Muriel, Gabriel says as he holds out his relatively large, beefy hand.
Hello. Thanks. Very respectfully.
Very nice, strong grip. Not crushingly, but noticeably firm handshake.
This is our first time here.
Oh, well, welcome. I hope that you've been enjoying yourself, meeting other clans. What clan are you from?
People love asking that question. Leon Side Clan?
Oh, Leon Side Clan. I am not super familiar with them. Where do you hail from?
Well, I grew up in Australia, but my mother's Irish and my father's second generation Japanese Australian. His parents were Japan, but my mother's no. She's an immigrant.
You must be very richly cultured then.
I suppose I spent a few years living in Japan, a few years Australia, and now I'm here, near here.
Well, this is my companion, Celeste.
Hello.
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 It's very nice to meet you.
This is Celeste's first time as well.
Yes.
A lot of first times this year.
Jorfrick looks down at Norio and says, Norio, go say hi.
Norio walks up all confident. Hi, I'm Norio.
Hello, Noya. It is very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You guys can roleplay as much as you want. At this point, I don't have anything planned for the next 20 minutes, so if you want to talk to each other, go ahead. If you don't want to talk to each other, I'm going to move on. So...
I think Norio's just walking around with his milk and his biscuits, still munching on them.
Miss Muriel, this is your first time too?
Yes. Moved nearby, so I check out the mute. Make sure I don't break any local council rules.
Yes, Gabriel said it would be a good idea for me to witness at least one of them.
Have you been to mutes outside of here, or is this your first mute entirely?
First mute entirely.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know how this one particularly runs, but if it runs anything like the other ones, there's a lot of talking, awkward, sipping drinks, and standing around, talking in circles about things that they talked about last year. So, you go to one, you'll probably get the layout for every other year.
Makes sense then why Gabriel would be here. He always has a lot to say.
Oh, I have felt that. Last year was